Luigi's Mansion is one of those series that just kind of came out of nowhere. Starting off as a launch title on the Nintendo GameCube in 2001, it just kind of took 12 years for it to finally have another game on the 3DS. Saw Hope Lost, Dark Moon showed that this is actually going to be a series now after so long, and why did it just decide to come back and now on the 3DS of all things? But people weren't upset. Now Dark Moon isn't the greatest Luigi's Mansion experience by any means, but still it was great to have another game in the series. And then on top of that, it took a whopping 6 years to get to Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Nintendo Switch in 2019, which might seem like a pretty long time, but I'm sure Nintendo was trying to make this the best game that they could. I mean, just look how beautiful it looks. Also considering the fact that it was a new Nintendo Switch console and that they've never really had a Luigi's Mansion game since the GameCube on home console, so this wasn't just like an ongoing series that they could easily just slap a Luigi's Mansion 3 as like a launch title for the Switch. Like, this was still developing into a series. Next year, it will be 5 years since Luigi's Mansion 3, which is a pretty long time, and I think a lot of people, including myself, are definitely waiting for another game in the series, considering the fact that Luigi's Mansion 3 was probably one of the best Switch games that actually released on the console. I mean, seriously, it sold absolute monstrous amounts. So it's safe to say that a Luigi's Mansion 4 is definitely happening. I don't think that's even in the argument right now. I think the question is, when is this game coming? Because there's a lot of things coming up soon, or apparently coming up soon, that could actually interfere with this, and it does make me wonder exactly when we can expect a Luigi's Mansion 4, or whatever it's going to be called. Something that's weird is that after 5 years of waiting for the sequel, instead of getting another Luigi's Mansion, we're literally getting the sequel, like the second game, but HD. Yeah, I can't lie, this one came out of nowhere. I wasn't really ever expecting to see Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the Nintendo Switch. Sorry, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD on the Switch. Am I complaining? Absolutely not. I know it's not in the structure that people really loved from the original Luigi's Mansion and now even Luigi's Mansion 3, where it felt like you could kind of go throughout the entire mansion any way you want, but still, you know, it's fun. I actually really enjoyed this game, and it kind of sucked that it was only tied to the 3DS, so if I wanted to enjoy the second Luigi's Mansion, I had to go from GameCube to 3DS, now to Switch. But now the original Luigi's Mansion is on the 3DS, so it'd be like 3DS, Switch now. Just put Luigi's Mansion on the Switch, Nintendo. Anyways, with Luigi's Mansion 2 being the Luigi's Mansion game for next year, odds are we're not seeing Luigi's Mansion 4. It just honestly wouldn't make sense. I don't know, it's Nintendo, they could do it, but I just don't think it's happening. I think there's a reason why they chose to make this game from the 3DS to the Switch now, and probably to hold us off because the new one isn't ready yet. And also, the other thing that's blocking the path right now is the new console, because rumors are saying that the new console is going to come out next year, and a lot of the rumors are saying next holiday. So obviously, with Luigi's Mansion 3 being one of the best looking games on the Switch, they probably want to make this next Luigi's Mansion game for this next console. And honestly, with what Next Level Games was able to pull off on the Nintendo Switch with baby part graphics, could you imagine what they could do with a full 4K console? Or okay, maybe it won't be 4K, but at least better graphics. I mean, this game is just going to look so good with the lighting and everything. I can't wait to see what they're cooking, because I'm sure they're already working with this new console right now. So if there is a new console next year, I'm guessing that Luigi's Mansion 4 is not going to release until 2025, the year after. It seems pretty accurate, especially with the other rumors saying that we're going to get a big open world 3D Mario game next year. I don't think there's really much room for a lot new, and I don't think Luigi's Mansion 4 is going to happen the same time with Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. So 2025 sounds pretty good. That will be 6 years, once again giving them plenty amount of time to get this game ready. Now, what are they going to do with the story, the location, and kind of the theming around this game? And I cannot tell you how many videos I've made. I've talked about a creepy cruise ship where they all jump on the ship and go to a far off island, and they can stop at different islands, and the cruise ship is haunted and stuff. And then I also talked about a train where it's the same type of thing, kind of like Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, where they just get on this train and you ride a train, and there's different carts of the train with different, secrets that you have to uncover and make your way all the way to the front. Talked about a creepy museum where kind of basing it off of the movie Night at the Museum, where everything just comes to life and there's like different ghosts kind of taking over different artifacts and stuff. Would have been really cool, and like historical figures and stuff. Well, at least the Nintendo's historical figures, I guess the Mushroom Kingdom historical figures, I don't know. But then I also said, like, what about a giant castle where everything's like Knights themed? And lots of these themes were actually implemented within Luigi's Mansion 3 in separate rooms, but could you imagine a whole game based on one of these themes? That's kind of where I went off of. Right now, Luigi's Mansion is a very young series. It's a baby. I mean, they only have 3 games, and they barely even scratch the surface of some of the ideas I think they could do. Not to mention that some of the ideas could just be very basic. Maybe just bringing us back to another big mansion like the original game could definitely serve its own purpose, kind of giving us that open exploration again. Because yes, Luigi's Mansion 3 let us explore each floor kind of openly, and it wasn't mission-based, but it still wasn't as open as the first game. Yes, it was still overall linear, but you could pretty much go anywhere you wanted in the entire mansion, and the game wouldn't stop you unless there was an area that was blocked because you just couldn't go there yet, but odds are you could backtrack and do whatever you wanted and just kind of run throughout the entire map if you wanted to. That's something that I truly wouldn't mind having back, being able to explore more, and it's kind of hard to put that in a category as to what that really was, because technically it was kind of Nintendo's first open world game if you think about it, because there was nothing that you couldn't do. Like, there was nowhere you couldn't go, especially after you unlocked everything. There was no segmented levels or kind of warping to the next level or even a world map or anything like that, or even a hub world. I mean, everything was here. The mansion, you explored it how you wanted to. So I can't lie, as cool as the cruise ship or even the train sound, I would not be opposed to just one gigantic mansion, or maybe even a gigantic museum or a castle that I brought up before. As far as anything else that I would like to bring back from the original game, the only thing that I could really think of right now, and the only thing that would make sense, is kind of its creepy factor. Luigi's Mansion 1 was kind of terrifying, especially if you were a kid playing the game, and it definitely had some moments that kind of gave me a jump scare. Do you remember when lightning struck the mansion and you had to get all the way to the front of the mansion again in pitch black darkness, and there would be nothing but ghosts popping up and spawning every which way? That was really scary, and even the lighting in this game and the ambiance and everything just portrayed a very different feeling game than Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 did. And I think a big reason behind this is because all the lights are on for some reason. Like, every single lamp and light bulb are shining in Luigi's Mansion 3 and 2 for some reason. And I don't really understand that, especially when they're ghosts. Normally the lights are supposed to be off. In Luigi's Mansion 1, the lights would only turn on if you completely cleared an area out of all the portrait ghosts. So maybe just turning the lights off would also bring back that scare factor, at least while you're completing the game, and until you actually complete each area, then the lights can turn back on. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily need it to be super, like, realistically scary like Castlevania or something, or even that Smash Brothers reveal trailer for Simon and Richter, because goodness gracious, that might have even been creepier than the first game. I feel like they could strike a balance that would make a lot more sense. For instance, combining Luigi's Mansion 3 and that trailer for Simon and Richter would get you something pretty interesting. And why not? Let Luigi get freaking stabbed. As far as any other mechanics and like playable characters, it's still Luigi's Mansion. I think it should still only really be Luigi, unless they add another Luigi or something like that, or maybe like a new original character for Luigi's Mansion would be really cool. Just add like a completely new original character that could actually be used in other Mario spin-offs in the future. Even if it's just Luigi, I still don't mind King Boo being the big bad still. He's not like he's been in like 100 games and we're tired of him or something like that, but at the same time, maybe make the story a little bit more dynamic, like there's more at stake, like the entire Mushroom Kingdom or something, to the point where even Bowser might even need Luigi's help or something like that. That would be pretty cool. So hopefully the story is a lot deeper than just saving Mario and gang from a portrait for the 4th time. And as far as any other wishes, maybe that we can go outside more. I think it was pretty cool to kind of go around outside of the mansion in Luigi's Mansion 2. Lots of the mansions allowed us to go outside to like the frozen lake and to the sheds and stuff, so hopefully we can do more of that. But Luigi's Mansion 4 is one of those games that I have like zero worries for, because Next Level Games has proven themselves once again with Luigi's Mansion 3 and showed how great of a game that they can make. From the graphics to the animations, the cutscenes, everything is so good in Luigi's Mansion 3. I can't wait to see what they're cooking for the next game. However, I still think Luigi should get stabbed. Real quick before you guys head out, I want to wish you guys a happy Christmas Eve for those of you celebrating Christmas, and I just want to say that it has been such an amazing year. I'm so excited to jump into the new year, but I wanted to enjoy Christmas this year with my family and friends and with you guys, and I hope you guys have a great Christmas day. And by the time this video is out, I believe it's Christmas Eve, so hopefully this makes sense. But thank you just so much for tuning in. I hope you guys get exactly what you want for Christmas. Actually, let me know in the comments down below, what Nintendo related gift do you want for Christmas? What are you hoping that you receive? Definitely let me know. And in case you're wondering what's going on in the background, this is actually a Christmas music playlist I made for Nintendo Christmas themed songs. There's also some other video game Christmas themed songs in there, but yeah, there's a lot of songs here. Check it out. There's like 138. The link is in the description down below, but yeah, check it out. Fill your house this Christmas with Nintendo Christmas music if you want. And I'll see you all on the next one. And Merry Christmas, guys. See ya.